Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So today I have 5 CGC 9.8 recommendations that I think are great buys right now. And I think the timing's right on these ones where, there's not a lot of promotion or hype that's like inflating the prices or anything like that. So, I think you can feel comfortable kind of getting out there trying to get these ones in the 9.8 for a fair value right now. Okay, so first one up on the list is a Simpsons Comics and Stories #1. This one is the first appearance of Simpsons in comics. So you get that big, iconic first appearance. That's awesome. I think in out of all the 9.8s out there, this one's looking like a really good value right now. Because, certainly if you're a Simpsons fan, you want that huge first appearance. Absolutely. This one's looking great on the census as well. So a 56 9.8s in the blue label. That is fantastic. A 1 of 56 for first appearance of Simpsons. Even better, the 9.8 ratio. 11.5%. So 11.5% of all graded copies in the universal blue label are 9.8s. The lower the better this one, so only about 10% of all graded copies are 9.8s. That's a great relative rarity in the 9.8. Combine that with a big first appearance, this one's looking pretty attractive, and I was pretty surprised to see where the prices are. Definitely reasonable, I think, given how good it is on the census and that big first appearance. Saw one sell just about a week ago too in a recent auction on eBay for $456. Yeah, I think that's a price to aim for. If you're the biggest Simpsons fan, this is kind of the one to get. It's a great 9.8, looks awesome on the census. Right around that sort of $450, I think is completely worth it. Maybe even getting over $500, just given how good of a value this one looks. Okay, so next one here. Similar story to kind of Simpsons Comics and Stories #1. Terminator #1 in the CGC 9.8. This is pretty much the first solo Terminator comic, or first appearance of Terminator in comics. It was funny, I was looking on the census and there seems to be some kind of like promotional comic that has like 2 graded that came out when the first Terminator movie came out. This is like, early 80s from Orion Pictures, but this one's from 1988. And is sort of known by Terminator fans as like the first appearance of Terminator. That's gettable, basically. But Terminator #1 in the 9.8, a pretty great 9.8 collector item as well. This is a Now Comics publication, so going to be pretty lower printed compared to like a Marvel or DC comic of this time. 29 9.8s in the blue label, 24.4%. The 9.8 ratio. So it just goes to show you that Simpsons Comics and Stories with that 11.5%. 9.8 percentage, that's just looking like a really good 9.8. This Terminator one, though, not too bad. More about the sort of 1 of 29, which is not a lot of them for first appearance of Terminator in the top grade. Saw one recently sell in an auction as well for $316 in the CGC 9.8. So myself, I've been sort of targeting this one. I'm a big Terminator fan. I used to watch, Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Judgment Day growing up as a kid. And even for similar reasons, I wanted Predator #1 because just being a big Arnold fan growing up watching all his movies. So myself, I ended up picking up a Terminator 1 in the newsstand. There was one in Canada, non-graded, so a raw copy in a newsstand, a Terminator 1. From the scans, it basically looks like a 9.8. I didn't see any spine ticks or, any type of damage at all. So I haven't received that one, and I purchased it about 2 days ago. And I haven't pulled the trigger on a 9.8 yet, but the last 9.8 on eBay went for $316, a 1 of 29. If you're a big Terminator fan, this one's looking pretty cool. Okay, next one here is one I did bring out. A Batman 357. Yeah, classic big Batman key issue. First full appearance of Killer Croc and Jason Todd on this one. So for Batman right now, I think, any kind of big Batman key issue I think is a good buy right now. Leading into next year, the Batman movie's going to come out. And I have a feeling like, the Batman fans are going to, come out of the woodwork and Batman popularity is going to pick up. And I think a lot of big Batman key issues are going to do well next year. So I think now is the time to buy for a little bit more of a fair price, hopefully. So Batman 357, one of the biggest Batman CGC 9.8 key issues to target. 237 9.8s in the blue label. 13.9% is the 9.8 percentage. Saw one recently sell for $1,125. So right around the $1,000 level. I think this is a great value for just in general in 9.8 comics. So yeah, I mentioned that Batman movie coming out next year. There's been some speculation and some teasers of the Batman movie, and people are sort of thinking that the Court of Owls could be in the movie. So a few other alternatives that are a little bit more related to the Batman movie you might want to try and pick up now. Certainly, when the movie comes out, the prices might, jack up, and that's not the time to purchase them. So it's from the Batman New 52 run, the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo Batman run there that came out. So I like Batman New 52 #1. That's very collectible. Batman New 52 #2 is the first appearance of Talon, who's like the assassin of the Court of Owls. And then Batman New 52 #6 is first full appearance of Court of Owls. And I think those all work as, Batman books to purchase now, and hopefully, you see some price appreciation next year when the Batman comes out. Okay, next one that's looking like a great buy right now, I think, as well, is Fantastic Four #272. This one is first appearance of Nathaniel Richards. So he's like the father of Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, and he eventually becomes Kang. So there's been speculation off and on, like maybe Kang's going to be the new villain in the Fantastic Four movies if they come back to the MCU, which there's been speculation of that. I don't think it's been confirmed that Fantastic Four is coming back to the MCU, but there's been a lot of speculation. So yeah, this one I think flies under the radar, but is a really big key, and certainly if Kang is the villain in the next Fantastic Four movie, I could see a lot more upside for this one. So Fantastic Four 272, 53 9.8 in the blue label. 59.6% is the 9.8 percentage. Saw a few sell. One was for $500 and another one for $616. So a 1 of 53, not a lot of these. People are, paying a pretty big buck for this one. But, when you think of those Fantastic Four movies coming out, if Kang is the villain, there's a lot more upside for this one. And if not, if you're just a big Fantastic Four fan, a 1 of 53 would be enjoyable to have for sure. So, I wouldn't expect any imminent like Fantastic Four announcements or anything like that. So hopefully you can aim closer to 500 for Fantastic Four 272 in the CGC 9.8. Okay, last one here is a book I've noticed kind of cooling down, and I think this book has some potential. It's Amazing Spider-Man #4 from 2014. When Cindy Moon Becomes Silk. Noticing the price is kind of pulling back on this one, so I think it's a decent time to get in there in the next few months. And then I believe it was like an Amazon show that I think Silk is going to be in an Amazon show or something like that. I kind of forget the details, but Amazing Spider-Man #4 on this little pullback I think is one to consider buying right now. 4,207 9.8s. This is always one I was like, wow, there's tons of 9.8s. It's not a rare 9.8. But it is like a new Spider-Man, so you can almost understand how, it's always going to be really popular, any type of new Spider-Man, a big key issue. 76.6% is the 9.8 ratio. And I mentioned the prices there, how they're pulling back a bit. Saw one recently sell in an auction for $309.99. This one was right around that 400 level for quite a long time. So now we're right around the 300 level, certainly a better value. And I think, if you're a big Silk fan or you're excited about that show, you can kind of start to nibble here right around 300, I think, is a decent value. Consider the variant, the Ramos variant. I'm seeing some sales prices for that one in the last month or two for $810 and $850. I do think, even though I'm maybe not the biggest fan of this book, I think there's probably still some upside, especially if I think it's a TV show, comes out and is a big hit. So you'll want to, look at this one now rather than at that time, and I'm sure the prices will be way more inflated during that period. Okay, just a quick 5 CGC 9.8s here to recommend. These are just wanted to choose 5 that were kind of sticking out for me right now, as, like I've sort of saw these in the past few weeks sell, and I was just like, wow, great value. So definitely wanted to do a quick video and share them with the team. All right, so hope you got some ideas. Thanks so much for watching, as always, and I'll see you on the next one.